This is Kevin Durant, and he is the greatest scorer of all time. And this is LeBron James, and he is widely known as the greatest player of all time. And today we're going to see what would happen if these all-time greats joined forces. And with both of these talents playing on the same team, the goal of today's video is simple: dominate the entirety of the NBA and become the greatest duo of all time. And with all that out the way, let's see what happens in their careers. It didn't take long before LeBron and KD put the league on notice in year one, as both of them completely revolutionized the Supersonics organization, and the overall offense and defensive contributions of LeBron and KD is enough for the Supersonics to clinch the 7th seed in the Western Conference. But although they would make it to the playoffs, they wouldn't make much noise, as the veteran presence of Tim Duncan and the Spurs make easy work of a young KD and LeBron, eliminating the duo in only 5 games. In Season 2, the Thunder would add even more firepower to the young core. With the new acquisition of Russell Westbrook, the Thunder now have a versatile offense. With the athleticism of both Russ and LeBron and the shooting ability of KD, it's safe to say that this Thunder team is looking scary. The Thunder start the regular season off strong, and the duo of KD and LeBron alongside the athletic point guard Russell Westbrook is truly starting to scare the rest of the league, as the young Big Three help the Thunder progress to the 5th seed in the Western Conference and are finally looking for a playoff push. But unfortunately, that playoff success wouldn't come this season, as yet again the duo gets eliminated by the San Antonio Spurs. In Season 3, the Thunder are out for revenge. After the back-to-back eliminations in the playoffs, the Thunder knew that they needed more firepower to their offense, and in this season they acquired James Harden. With LeBron and Russ being able to dominate in the paint, and James Harden and KD being able to stretch the floor out high, the Thunder are looking to win it all this season. The Thunder start the regular season off scorching hot, with LeBron just now entering his prime, and the Thunder having an extremely young and talented team around him. It was no surprise the Thunder find themselves winning 73 games in the regular season, and finally find themselves at the top of the Western Conference. In the postseason, the Thunder finally aren't the underdogs anymore, and proceed to eliminate the Rockets, the Nuggets, and eventually the Lakers to find themselves in their first NBA Finals. In the Finals, the Thunder find themselves against the Atlanta Hawks, and although LeBron's the veteran of the team, the Finals is all about KD, as he absolutely scorches the Hawks defense and helps the Thunder take games 1, 2, and 3, meaning that they are only 1 win away from their first NBA title. With only 45 seconds left, the Thunder find themselves up 12 in Game 4, and unless the Hawks just go on an insane run here, this young core is gonna win their first NBA championship this season. And the Hawks really don't end up making a push, so we are actually going to win Game 4. In only 3 seasons, the Thunder find themselves at the top of the NBA in the regular season and the postseason. And surprisingly, with the offensive dominance of Kevin Durant, it's actually the veteran and prime presence of LeBron that actually wins the Finals MVP. And now you have to think, what's gonna happen when all of these superstars are in their prime? After winning their first championship, LeBron and KD are looking to go back to back. And unlike a lot of teams who consider this their ceiling, that wouldn't be the case for the dynamic duo in OKC, as they elevate tremendously in the offseason, and their work is showing in the regular season, as LeBron wins the MVP award, and the super team out in OKC dominate the Western Conference and find themselves having the #1 seed. And with no surprise, the Thunder are going to be the title favorites heading into the postseason, and their postseason run this year was nothing short of spectacular, as they cruised past the Lob City Clippers, the Mavericks, and the Nuggets to eventually face off against the Dwayne Wade-led Miami Heat in the NBA Finals. This year, the Thunder are easily facing off against their toughest opponents to date, and that is put on notice in the first 4 games as it split down the middle at 2-2 apiece. And with OKC having the offensive firepower and Miami having a lot of overwhelming forces, Game 5 means absolutely everything to both teams. In Game 5, the offensive dominance of the Thunder was too much for the Heat's defense to handle. With James Harden and KD stretching the floor, a 3-point barrage helps the Thunder go up by 36 points and seals the deal heading into Game 6. And that means the Thunder are only 1 win away from another NBA championship. The Thunder are currently up by 20 with 1 minute and 14 seconds remaining. And I think it's safe to say that no matter what Dwayne Wade and the Heat pull out here, there is no shot for them to come back and win this game. So not only are the Thunder winning back-to-back NBA championships, but they're actually taking out the Miami Heat, which is easily the best team in the NBA outside of the Thunder, and that means a lot for this young core heading into their primes. And yeah, they they end up just holding the ball. So the Thunder are back-to-back NBA champions, and they are on top of the NBA world. So LeBron does end up winning the Finals MVP, and I wonder if KD's ever gonna win one with LeBron by his side. After winning back-to-back championships, the Thunder are widely known as the best team in the association, and Season 5 would prove that to be true in the regular season as well, as LeBron wins another MVP award, and the Thunder win 71 games in the regular season and are looking unbeatable heading into the playoffs. Or are they? As they find themselves in a 3-0 deficit in the first round to the Golden State Warriors. The new emergence of Steph Curry and the Warriors introduce a new offensive game plan to the NBA, outshooting their opponent and winning through threes. But after going down 3-0, the Warriors wouldn't have it so easy, as the Thunder would lock in on defense and LeBron takes over in Game 4 with a 33-point triple-double, bringing the series to 3-1. And in Game 5, LeBron would take a backseat and KD would carry the offensive load, knocking down 3 after 3 and dropping 32 points and 7 rebounds to take Game 5 as well. And at this point, it's anybody's series to win. But unfortunately, in Game 6, the Thunder couldn't seal the deal, as the overwhelming 3-point barrages from Steph Curry was too much for the Thunder to handle, and the Thunder get embarrassed in the 2011 postseason. After the embarrassment of last season, James Harden decided to take his talents to Houston, which would end up being a blessing in disguise, giving Russ, LeBron, and KD more offensive opportunities. The Thunder without Harden are still the #1 team in the Western Conference, and with LeBron and KD both putting up over 30 points a night, it's safe to say that Harden was setting them back, as KD takes home his first MVP award this season, and the Thunder win 67 games on the year. And heading into the postseason, they're looking to get back in championship contention. In the postseason, it was obvious that KD and LeBron were playing with fire, as they match up against the Spurs in round 1, and unlike their previous matchup, KD and LeBron scorch and eliminate the Spurs in 5 games. And after getting their revenge on the Spurs in round 1, they decimate the Grizzlies and the Nuggets to find themselves back in the NBA Finals. In the Finals, the Thunder would find themselves against another athletic point guard in Chicago, and the superstar matchup of Russ versus Derrick Rose is bound to be one for the record books. In the first 2 games, split in an even 1 game apiece, with both Russ and D Rose attacking the interior defense on both sides. And with neither team giving up, this series is going to go down to the wire. In Game 3, KD puts on a clinic and drops 36 points to give the Thunder the lead up 2-1. And in Game 4, LeBron would take over and would remind everybody that he is the best player in the world, and would lead the Thunder to help beat the Bulls by 33 points. And after going up 3-1, everything is going in the right direction for the Thunder to win yet another NBA title. And surprisingly, the Thunder are up by an absolute huge margin. And in the closeout game, you would think that Derrick Rose would try to attack Russell Westbrook, but it's just not happening. And at this point, with the Bulls being down by like 20, there is no chance that they can come back, so we can basically dribble this out, and we're gonna be champions on the Thunder home floor. And surprisingly, Russell Westbrook is the one taking home the hardware in the finals. After winning another championship, the Thunder cement themselves as one of the greatest teams of all time, and that would continue to be true in the 2013-2014 season, as the Thunder win an outlandish 76 wins in the regular season, and LeBron continues to add to his resume with another MVP trophy. At this point, the Thunder are clear title favorites heading into the postseason, and that would be very apparent throughout the first 2 rounds. But heading into the Western Conference Finals, this matchup would mean everything for these 2 teams, as the Thunder match up against the Steph Curry-led Golden State Warriors yet again, and after the embarrassment a couple seasons back, the Thunder know exactly what they need to do. The series against the Steph-led Warriors was neck and neck the whole way through, with both teams being able to shoot from anywhere on the floor, and the Thunder being able to tack down low. This series would eventually be tied up at 3 games apiece. But Game 7 will be nothing short of remarkable, as both teams are playing at an outlandish level and nobody's backing down in this series. And eventually, the game will be all tied up in regulation, meaning that the game will be decided in overtime. With only 1 minute remaining in overtime, the Thunder find themselves down 11 as LeBron gets a backcourt violation. And I think it's safe to say that this is not looking good. Unless the Thunder can manage to pull off some crazy upset with 1 minute remaining, the Warriors are gonna beat one of the greatest teams ever assembled, and it wasn't even close in overtime. Steph Curry has the ball, passes it to Iguodala. Iguodala is gonna take KD off the dribble, passes to Clay with a wide open 3-pointer, and yeah, it is not looking good at this point. After the disappointing loss to the Warriors in the playoffs, the Thunder team would never truly recover, as the Warriors dynasty is in full effect, and the duo of both KD and LeBron had no no answer for the Warriors trio. And with the Thunder being at an all-time low, the Warriors would proceed to win the next 2 NBA championships in both Season 8 and Season 9. And after these last few disappointing seasons, history would be made.
Well, I'm viewing it as the weakest move I've ever seen from a superstar. Plain and simple. That's just how I look at it.
In Season 10, the most controversial move in NBA history would be made, as LeBron and KD joined the team that continuously eliminated them in the postseason, and the Golden State Warriors are now the new dynasty of the NBA. With no surprise, the Warriors' regular season was nothing short of spectacular, winning 75 total games and absolutely revolutionizing the game of basketball. And with the Warriors decimating the rest of the league in the regular season, there is no doubt that they are eyeing another championship. In the postseason, the overwhelming star power of the Warriors was put on full display, as they won 12 consecutive games and sweep through the first 3 rounds against other Western Conference rivals, and they found themselves matching up against the Atlanta Hawks in the NBA Finals. In the finals, the Warriors would shoot 3 after 3, and LeBron would get dunk after dunk, and the Hawks would eventually get swept, meaning that the Warriors win another NBA title and go a perfect 16-0 in their postseason debut. After the Warriors' successful championship run, the media had no choice but to create tension, as they would start to question who is the best player on this team. With 3 MVPs on their roster, there is no clear answer, and the Warriors would have to answer that question this season. In the regular season, the tension between the 3 stars would start to corrupt the team, as LeBron, Steph, and KD would play selfish basketball for the majority of the regular season. And after the regular season was concluded, the team would fall to the 3 seed in the West. And to top it all off, none of the 3 stars would be taking home the MVP award, as nobody other than James Harden would be taking home the MVP honors. In the postseason, there's a lot on the line, and if the Warriors get embarrassed, the media would have no choice but to stir up some controversy. In the first 2 rounds, the Warriors would stand on business as usual and eliminate the Thunder and Jazz with their overwhelming offensive forces in the first 2 rounds. But in the Western Conference Finals, they would face off against the one and only James Harden. In the conference finals, Harden would prove to LeBron and KD that he wasn't holding the old Thunder teams back, and would have put on offensive clinics throughout the whole series, and would eventually eliminate the Warriors in 6 games. After the embarrassment the Warriors experienced from the media and their lack of success in the postseason, they were destined to make a comeback in Season 12. The Warriors' redemption year would be spectacular, and the overwhelming offense that the Warrior system provides from deep as well as down low overwhelms the vast majority of teams across the league in the regular season. And with no surprise, the Warriors win 73 games and are looking to redeem themselves in the postseason. They start off round 1 by asserting their dominance against the Spurs in a 4-0 sweep, and then in round 2 against the Clippers, it was much of the same ordeal, as KD and LeBron used their playoff experience and shut down the Clippers in 4 games. But the conference finals wouldn't be that much of a cakewalk, as the Warriors find themselves matched up against none other than the Oklahoma City Thunder, as Russ would not only be seeking revenge, but would be seeking his first championship without LeBron and KD. And with both sides playing at elite levels, it's no surprise that the series would be all tied up in Game 7. And although the series was close for 6 games, the Warriors find themselves with a 21-point cushion in Game 7 with only a minute and a half remaining, so we can basically chalk this up as a Warriors win, and the Warriors, after a disruptive last season, are making another finals appearance. In the finals, the Warriors would match up against none other than the Milwaukee Bucks, but honestly, the series wouldn't be close, as Steph, LeBron, and KD overwhelm the Bucks defense and eliminate them in only 4 games. And after this recent redemption season for the Golden State Warriors, this team seems to be at an all-time high, and absolutely nothing can get in their way, or can it? As in Season 13, there are some new changes to LeBron and KD's careers. After dominating out west for the majority of their careers, the duo was making their debut in the Eastern Conference, as they're looking to prove that they don't need a super team to win championships, and they would move to the Brooklyn Nets alongside Kyrie, creating another super team, but not to the magnitude of Golden State. The trio would take no time to dominate the Eastern Conference, as both LeBron and KD have experience with sharing the ball with elite point guards in the past. The trio felt unstoppable right off the jumper in the regular season, and win 69 games in their first season together. The Big Three have championship aspirations as always, and at this point, LeBron's trying to improve his accolades for the GOAT debate, and KD is trying to cement himself as the greatest scorer of all time. And all of this will be put on display in the postseason, as in the first 2 rounds, the trio doesn't break a sweat, eliminating both the Hawks and the Magic with ease. But in the Eastern Conference Finals, the Nets would have some trouble against the Embiid-led 76ers, as Ben Simmons is still playing in all-star caliber form, and the series ends up going to a Game 7, but nevertheless, the veteran presence of LeBron and KD was enough for the Nets to get over the hurdle and eliminate the 76ers in 7 games. In the finals, they would match up against the Zion Williamson-led Pelicans, but the Pelicans wouldn't put up much of a fight. As the established veteran presence of the Brooklyn Nets dominates the Pelicans' young core, the Nets find themselves up 3-1 with 1 win away to win an NBA title. With 1 minute remaining, the Nets have a comfortable lead, and unless Brandon Ingram makes a 3 right here, we should be firmly in the driver's seat. He pulls up. Oh my, it's only a 5-point game with 51 seconds. The Pelicans can come back. Spencer Dinwiddie with the ball in clutch time? No, just give the ball to Kyrie or LeBron. That works. He's backing down JJ Redick. Oh yeah, JJ is too little for him. Brandon Ingram is still going for a 2-point attempt on Jared Allen. He misses. The Nets basically guarantee themselves a finals victory right here, meaning that KD and LeBron are winning yet another NBA championship. And it was LeBron who takes home the finals MVP award. After winning a championship, the Nets organization is at an all-time high. And although most teams would be content in this situation after winning their first title, that wasn't the case for Brooklyn, as James Harden is looking to reunite with his old teammates and creates a big four out in Brooklyn. But in order for this big four to work, they would all have to sacrifice individual success in the regular season. And with that, the media would start to buzz, as James Harden was deemed a selfish player and wanted to be the star of the show. And this season was starting to give flashbacks to the previous Warriors season, as controversy would get in the way of basketball in this season and end up declining and winning 61 total games instead of 69. But nevertheless, in the postseason, the Nets were the favorites to come out of the Eastern Conference, and that would be the case for the first 2 rounds, as they decimate both the Wizards and the 76ers to find themselves back in the conference finals. But unfortunately, the conference finals wouldn't be so easy, as Giannis is playing an MVP caliber form, and the rest of the Bucks supporting cast are hungry to win their first championship. And although the Nets would put up a good fight and the series would go to 6 games, selfish play from James Harden would be the downfall of the Nets organization, and the Bucks eliminate them in only 6 games. In season 15, the Nets would move on from James Harden after only 1 season, and with this being season 15, the aging trio of LeBron, KD, and Kyrie don't have much left in the tank. The Nets would improve to 63 games in the regular season and would prove to be better without the toxicity of James Harden in the locker room. The postseason would be even more successful than the previous season as well, eliminating the Hawks, the Bucks, and the Celtics from playoff contention. But although the first 3 rounds would be a breeze, that wouldn't be the case for the NBA Finals, as LeBron and KD find themselves matching up against their former team in Golden State, and this will be a series for the record books. This series would be neck and neck the whole way through, with the Warriors still being an offensive powerhouse without LeBron and KD, and the Nets being able to attack from all angles. The series is eventually tied up at 3 games apiece, and there are no better words in sports than Game 7. In Game 7, the Nets would start off hot, and LeBron and KD would put on offensive clinics against the lacking Warriors defense, and would find themselves with a comfortable lead with only 1 minute remaining. The Nets find themselves up 21 with 50 seconds remaining, and there's basically no chance for the Warriors to come back at this point, as Kyrie gets a nice layup and the Nets are up 23, and this is honestly a perfect way for the duo to close their time out east. And there we have it, the Brooklyn Nets are 2-time NBA champions. And surprisingly, it will be Kyrie Irving taking home the Finals MVP this year. After a successful run in the Eastern Conference, the duo is ready to head back out west, and they would make their Phoenix debut in season 16. But the media would make one last buzz before their careers are over, as it is rumored that both LeBron and KD are heading into retirement after this season, meaning that this is their final chance to win it all. Although the Sun Stars were declining in play due to their old age, that wouldn't stop them from seeing success in the regular season, winning 56 total games and claiming the 1 seed in the West. And although this would be LeBron's last season, it wouldn't stop him from winning their MVP award this season. And with this being their final season in the NBA, they're obviously looking to win an NBA championship. In the postseason, the first 3 rounds would be a blur, as they sweep through their Western Conference rivals to make it to yet another NBA Finals. And this time, they would match up against a very hard team to beat in the Boston Celtics. This series would be tight the whole way through, with both pairings of stars firing on all cylinders off the gate, and with no surprise, LeBron and KD find themselves in yet another Game 7. And regardless of the outcome, this is their final game in the NBA. Game 7 was a blowout early on, as both KD and LeBron want to put on a show for the home fans, and with only 1 minute remaining, the Suns are in a very comfortable position. With only 56 seconds remaining, this isn't even close. The Suns find themselves up almost by 40, and as you can see, this is a sold out crowd for LeBron and KD's final game in the association. And there's honestly no better feeling than winning an NBA championship in your final game in the league. And there we have it. After so many ups and downs in their NBA careers, they are NBA champions once again. After a remarkable end of their NBA careers, you have to question, is this the greatest duo of all time? With their individual accolades and LeBron making by far the craziest case in the GOAT debate, I'm gonna leave this for you guys to answer. But what would happen if LeBron and Wembanyama were in this same exact scenario? Would they be a better duo than LeBron and KD? Find out now by clicking the video on the screen.